This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing the game preview for the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks. Game starts at 7:30. Not really after 7:30, I think it is probably 8 o'clock, somewhere around there, since the game is going to be on TNT. If you're available, come on down to Legends and join us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be here watching the game, and then, of course, we'll be doing the post-game show right here from Legends. So you may not get the slides you get every day with all the stats and the breakdown stuff, but we're going to have some good conversations. And no better conversations than to start with Kemba and everything that's going down with Kemba Walker. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's get it started, Steph.
Yeah, shout out to you, Sam, the chat, all those that's here with us at Legends.
What's going on with you, man? Hey, man, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to shake up the world. We're gonna beat these Brooklyn Nets tonight. We're gonna get one. You know, let's go, Knicks. All right, give me 1 second.
The audio was kind of low. I think it's a little bit better now. So let's go ahead and get it going. Audio should be good now. It'll take a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Apologize for the audio issue. Had a little bit of mistake there, but
The chat was on it.
the chat was the chat's always going to be on. The chat's always on it. There's no doubt about that. Let me see what they're saying in the okay, better, perfect, much better. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I see my man Quiet Money in the building. What's going on with your Quiet Money? We got everybody. Well, we don't got everybody yet. They're coming. They're on the way. It's a little bit light right now, but they're on the way. Anyway, let's talk about Kemba. Steph, what was your initial reaction? You know, we did an entire show just before it happened. We did an entire show on if it's time to start Alec Burks over Kemba Walker. And then the next thing you know, bam, there it goes.
Prophetic. Listen, I think it was a necessary move. You know, listen, I'm not going to scapegoat Kemba and think it was just his reason why the Knicks were underperforming. There's a lot of blame to go around. But I think in terms of fixing it, it was the right move. The defense was just a mess. I think right now, putting Burks in, you're going to get, a taller guard, more defense at the point of attack, keeping guys out the lane, and that's where the defense starts. If you can do that, you're going to be a better defensive team. So I think it was the right move, but again, it wasn't Kemba's fault solely his fault that the team wasn't playing well.
Right. Now, Ron, what are your thoughts about it with Kemba?
I'm still in shock that Tibbs is actually doing something and making this type of move. It felt weird. It almost felt like Kemba got traded. I was like, man, he out of here.
Right.
But yeah, it's the right move to make. I think it's about time. I think 20 games is enough of a sample size for Tibbs to see this ain't working the way we want it to work. And you know what? Listen, he's not gone yet. He's still on the team. And if we need him for whatever reason, he can come back into the rotation and help us out. But for right now, the best move is to get him up out of there and allow guys like Burks and Grimes, who are playing great defense, to get out there and help us out and allow us to get back to some of that defense we saw last year. Get back to that Knick defense.
Do you think you were just saying that Kemba's going to be, he'll still be there, and if he's needed, he can jump back in the lineup. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Kemba's gone.
No, I think so too. You might be right. Yeah. But I'm just saying he's still on the team.
He's on the team now, but I think he's going to be waived. and the Knicks are going to look to pick up somebody else. Maybe if they can't find a point guard, I don't know what point guard out there you're going to go get. I know people are talking about John Wall. I'm not trying to trade for John Wall and his $44 million, right? I think you go find a wing defender. If you're going to waive Kemba, you might as well go find a wing defender. He's talking about possibly shortening the lineup, right? So now you're talking about 9 players instead of 10 players.
Right.
I know you got Grimes, who is a wing defender. He may want somebody who's a little bit more experienced.
Right.
You know he does.
You know what I mean? So, maybe he goes out and tries to find a wing defender from somewhere. I don't know where.
I mean, the rumor mill is happening already. I don't know who put the rumor out there. It might be the Knicks. Like, yeah, there's some teams interested in Kemba. I don't know about that, but
I mean, already it's out there. That 3 or 4 teams have reached out to the Knicks about Kemba. That it's possible they could trade Kemba to Houston for John Wall. I'm not seeing that happen. You know what I mean? John Wall is not going to be Kemba, but I still don't think he's the type of point guard that we need. Steph, what do you think about John Wall? If that was even,
yeah, I mean, we're not talking about the money. The money is prohibitive. That's just that's a bit too much. We would have to give up too much. But if he was somehow bought out, it would be, I think he could fit if Randle is not handling the ball. I think have Randle handling the ball, you have Wall who's ball dominant. That would be too much.
Right.
I think in that starting lineup.
yeah.
right. What do you think?
I'm not loving the John Wall thing. I know they said Houston is interested. Of course they're interested. Who wouldn't want to unload $40 million? Right. I don't know if I'm with it. Like I've been fighting back and forth with Knicks fans about the fact that John Wall is someone who can help our team. Yeah, if he's healthy, I don't know. I don't know if this dude can stay healthy. I know last year they sat him because of the contract issue. I know the year before that it was like, basically the bubble.
Right.
I don't know, man. Listen, John Wall is brittle to me. If he comes here and he can stay healthy, then yes, he's going to ball out for this Knicks team. I just don't know if we can put on all the issues we've had as a Knicks franchise. I want to hang my hat on John Wall. I don't know.
I mean, that's the same argument I had when they were bringing in Kemba, given his recent, his recent injury history. So I'm with you. I was the same way when it came to Kyrie. I just need somebody. I mean, obviously people will get injured. That's just, a part of the game. But the risk is higher if you have an injury history. So I tend to try to stay away from guys like that.
Right. I mean, there's no way whatsoever I'm trading for John Wall.
No.
I mean, if you trade for John Wall, I mean, that'd just be crazy. If you trade for John Wall, you're talking about obviously Kemba, and then you still got to find $36 million, maybe $30 million. You don't exactly have to match the salary, so maybe $30 million now, where that's just too much. That's just too much. I'd rather look at, I'd rather just stick with what we have and what we're doing and figure out something else during the off season, or unless some kind of trade takes place during the trade deadline. The trade deadline is what? Well, you can't trade players that you signed until December the 15th, and then you got about 2 months until the trade deadline is upon us. So, how do you think that conversation went between Tibbs and Kemba?
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
Right.
Tibbs, straight to the point. I appreciate you. It's not your fault. We just need to move in a different direction. This is going to help the team win. I see you, as a starter. I don't want to nickel and dime you with a few minutes here and a few minutes, these mock minutes. I think it's just best if you're just out of the rotation.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about,
I think you may have gave him the Frank Lucas. Listen here, Kemba.
Right.
This ain't working.
Right. I know it's got to be tough for him. I know it's got to be tough for Kemba because he was looking forward to it. His family was looking forward to it. You heard the comments that his mother said about him coming back home and all of that. And then it ends. I'm saying ends, but it ends this way.
Right.
I mean, the writing's definitely on the wall. I know I keep saying, yeah, he still could come back. But yeah, we know that that's not ideal. That's not what the Knicks want to do. The Knicks want to, make this as clean of an exit as possible and part ways amicably, get Kemba somewhere maybe that he can benefit from. And definitely, if we can get something back for Kemba, that'd be great, which I'm not really expecting anything. I think sometimes it's, addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
So,
and I think we'll know how situational he is tonight. There's possibly 4 players out of the rotation. If he doesn't play tonight, then we know what situation we're talking about.
Exactly. You know exactly what situation we're talking about. I can't see him. Okay. There's no way. When we did the show the other night, we talked about if Alec Burks takes that starting spot, right, what would happen to Kemba, right? To me, there's no way you play Kemba, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel quickly in that second unit. There's no way that happens.
Right. Is Rose back tonight?
Really?
Everybody's back tonight.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what they look.
Really?
Hey.
I mean, Mitchell was just questionable.
Just questionable.
All right. Well, if Rose is back and Nerlens and Mitch is out there and Taj is out there and you got RJ's okay, because I know RJ was day to day.
Right.
I guess it don't matter tonight. We ain't gonna miss him.
So I'm looking at the official injury report right now. It came out at 6:30. For the Brooklyn Nets, Nick Claxton, he's out. David Duke Jr., he's out. Joe Harris is out. Of course, Kyrie is out. For the Knicks, everybody. RJ Barrett available. Taj Gibson available. Miles McBride, he's in the G League. He's been assigned to the G League. Nerlens Noel available. Mitchell Robinson available.
Okay.
So Tom Thibodeau is saying we want to try to win this game no matter what.
Right.
They want
put your sneaker on and
exactly.
We need you out there.
We need you out there.
You know what? My question is, how bad is the G League, or how good is Miles McBride? Because every time he go to the G League, he ball out.
Yeah.
He killing them dudes down there.
Yeah.
I have a different question. We just got rid of Kemba Walker. Well, I not got rid of Kemba Walker.
He's still on the team.
He's still on the team, but Kemba Walker's out of the rotation. Miles McBride was assigned to the G League. So what's that mean for Miles McBride?
I mean, I think, it looks like they brought him back up. It's not official on the transactions list, but it looks like they're just doing that whole thing where they're giving him 1 day of play to keep him fresh and then bringing him back in case they need him. I don't know why they keep yo-yoing him around, because it's not like he's playing, a bunch of minutes. If anything, Grimes is out there getting the minutes. So,
right.
But I mean, look, whatever works, because I don't know. McBride needs to be, Deuce is loose, man. Deuce is out there balling. I would love to see him out there.
Yeah, he's hooping.
Yes.
He's playing good. And that was one of my whole reasons about Kemba Walker not even being in that second unit, because you need a defender, you need a wing defender, a guy that can shoot the ball. And every time Grimes is on the floor, he's D'ing up heavy.
Yeah.
He's up in people's faces. And Tom Thibodeau said yesterday, I guess it was, he's not afraid to play Quentin Grimes. He's not afraid to put him out there. So, right. And when he was asked about the rotations for tonight, he said they'll be much like they were against the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm expecting to see Quentin Grimes in that rotation.
Yeah.
If you want to say it, Kemba got beat out by a rookie.
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
And there goes that narrative that he doesn't play young players, he doesn't play rookies. Tibbs going to play anybody he thinks is going to help him win, period.
Right. Exactly.
You know what's crazy? What if this whole time, all of us in the Knicks community have been killing Tibbs about not playing the rookies and all this stuff? Maybe Tibbs was waiting for the 20 game. Maybe he had that, as a part of his plan, like 20 games, then I can make some moves. Maybe he's been waiting.
Yeah, it could be that. But listen, even last year, he played Obi and IQ. RJ is a young player. Okay, he was the 3rd draft pick, but he's a young player. He's going to play who's going to help him win, who he thinks is ready.
Yeah. I'll say this move wasn't, it didn't just happen because Kemba Walker, it was the second night of a back and he wanted to sit Kemba out. I don't think so. You remember a couple of weeks ago, Alec Burks, there was a picture on the Knicks social media on Twitter with Alec Burks in a blue jersey.
Right.
So he had already been working them out with that starting unit to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Right. And they've been doing some work in practice so they can get familiar with each other, run over sets, whatever it is that they needed to do to prepare. And at that point, I guess it was just the point he said, hey, I'm ready to do it. Let's go. Let's make it happen. So,
yeah.
Let's get into this game. We talked about the injury report. I think we pretty much know what the starting lineups are going to be, right, for the Knicks and for the Nets, right? The Nets just lost to Phoenix the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Phoenix is hot on 16 in a row.
16 in a row.
Wow.
It's crazy. 16 in a row. When you look at the primary matchups for tonight, I guess, you got Alec Burks, James Harden. It's probably going to be a primary matchup. Obviously, Julius Randle and Kevin Durant. Right. Let's talk about the Alec Burks and James Harden. What do you expect from that matchup? Can he put pressure on James Harden? Can he match his output for one night? He's not going to be James Harden every night, obviously, but can he match his output for one night?
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Harden, is not just his you mean scoring wise? Maybe
scoring.
Maybe. But Harden triple-double,
right,
in terms of his rebounds, his assists. He draws so much attention, that guys are open. And his guys are hitting shots. I don't know if Burke is going to draw that much attention, but he may be able to match him offensively. Yeah, he definitely. And cause him some trouble on the defensive end, I believe.
Right. I think that'd be the key right there. Can he cause him some trouble on the defensive side of the ball?
Right.
Ron, what do you think? That matchup, Alec Burks and James Harden. Clearly, we're not expecting Alec Burks to win that matchup.
Right. How tall is James Harden?
That's a good point. 6'4", I want to say.
6'5".
I'm thinking he's about 6'4", 6'5". So the difference between James Harden and Kemba Walker on defense is about 6 inches. That's it. That's the only difference, because James Harden is a open door policy on defense. So I think Burks is going to get busy. I think he's definitely going to put pressure on Harden. I think the biggest issue is for the Knicks to allow Harden to keep being the Harden of this year. Don't let this guy get off. He's been struggling all year. He looks slow out there. His moves ain't working. The refs ain't helping him.
Right.
So I would just try to keep him in the same frame of mind. Don't let this guy get the three happy. Just let him do what he's been doing, which is not much. And I guess control Harden, let Durant get his within reason, and go from there, because that's all you're going to do. You can't really stop a great player, and Durant's a great player. So kind of control him, limit Harden to what he's been doing, and you got a chance of winning. That's what I think.
Even without playing well, Harden is still giving you 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists a game.
That's the type of Harden we can deal with. We don't want to deal with that other Harden. That other Harden is a problem.
He's still giving you that.
That's rough.
That's still tough to deal with. I don't know. And then it looks like it'll be James Harden at point guard, Patty Mills at shooting guard. Now, Patty Mills he's 6 foot, right? Normally, Kemba would have matched up with Patty Mills. You would think Alec Burks is going to be on James Harden. Then I guess it's going to be Evan Fournier guarding Patty Mills.
Yeah, I would think so.
That makes sense. Although, let's not sleep on Patty Mills. Patty Mills usually lights us up. So I'm hoping we can try to contain him.
Right.
Can Evan Fournier get low enough to guard someone the size of Patty Mills and keep him out the paint? I mean, Patty Mills is not going to break down the defense like that anyway. He's going to be, he's going to shoot the ball from the outside.
Right.
But knowing that he has a guy like Evan Fournier who's 6'6", guard, he may look to try to get into the paint a little bit more. Can Evan Fournier handle that matchup?
I think he can. I think with Fournier, it's going to be fighting over the screens, staying attached. Even if you're a step behind coming off a screen, are you making that effort to get back in the play? Because I think I agree with you. I don't think Patty Mills is going to be somebody that's going to put it on the floor and go in the lane, but he's going to get a lot of screens, or driving kicks from from Harden. So I think it could be tough because Harden goes in, you sink in to try to stop him, and boom, Patty Mills is wide open. So he's gonna have to be conscious of that and help a little bit, or maybe the regular rotation. If he starts hitting a few, I can't help as much, if he starts hitting them.
Right. LaMarcus Aldridge starting at center for the Brooklyn Nets. How do you see that matchup with him and Mitch?
I think I like Mitch's chances against LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, LaMarcus is a professional. He's the consummate professional. He can still go out there and ball and give you something. But I think if there was ever an advantage for Mitch with his youth and that that new size he got, he can bang with LaMarcus a little bit. And I think he's definitely going to be like. The thing about Mitch, he seemed a little slow against a lot of the the top centers in the league that we've played. But LaMarcus is not, fast-footed. He's kind of slow and methodical in the way he plays. So I think Mitch should be able to get busy tonight.
Well, Mitch, as I like to say, is on self-check. There's just certain things he's just not able to do due to the injury and the weight. I agree with you. I don't think that Aldridge has the foot speed or whatever, but he's a veteran and he's savvy.
Right.
And he still has that turnaround fadeaway that even though Mitch is 7 foot, he still seems to be able to get off. So I think that the key for Mitch is to, play solid defense. Don't try to do too much defensively in the sense of being over aggressive, because he'll get into foul trouble. That's how, savvy he is. But in terms of foot speed, yes, I think Mitch should, he should be okay tonight.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I do worry though about LaMarcus Aldridge being, savvy. He has the ability to get Mitch in foul trouble. The good thing is Nerlens Noel is playing, so
yeah. Now if Noel was starting, well, I guess he could probably. I think Noel would be better. That's the next move, if you ask me, is for Noel to start over Mitch. That's the next move.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Any chance tonight that Nerlens Noel starts, because Tom Thibodeau wants to emphasize defense?
If he does them, I think Burks and Noel takes our defense to another level. It just takes our defense to another level, but I don't think he's going to make 2 changes in one night. So I think Mitch is gonna get the start.
Yeah, I mean, most likely, but I mean, Mitch has been in and out of the lineup. Noel's been in and out of the lineup, so there really hasn't been any consistency there anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do it, you might as well get it done.
Yeah, I would love Noel in the lineup, in the starting lineup.
I mean, I don't think we got to worry about it too much, because one thing we've seen in these 20 games is no matter what happens, Tibbs got a quick hook. If it ain't looking good, he'll pull Mitch right out of there and throw Nerlens in there. So It doesn't really matter who starts, because if you're not playing right, Tibbs he's not leaving you out there too long.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. That's no doubt about it. Let me get to a super chat real quick. Let me see if we can. Big shout out to Donald Cannon. He says, Sim, I'm digging this setup for the game. I can see a new logo, MBK on MSG. Keep up the good work. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one there. All right, who else we got here in the matchup? Who else we got here in the matchup? Obviously, you got, we'll get to that last. You got DeAndre Bembry and RJ Barrett. I mean, I guess Bembry, I don't know much about the guy, a defensive guy. I mean, last game against the Phoenix Suns, he had 18 points.
Sure.
18 points and 9 rebounds.
Really?
Yeah, against the Suns. 9 for 11 from the field.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Hopefully RJ can. I don't know. Let me ask you this. How much do you think this move helps RJ Barrett? And I'm going to switch out in a second and let some other people get here, but I just want to know, how much do you think this move helps RJ Barrett? With Kemba coming out the lineup, Alec Burks being in the lineup, more ball handlers in the lineup, you know, guys who want to shoot the rock. is this going to kind of relegate RJ to being a spot up shooter? I'm standing in the corner waiting for the ball to be kicked out to me.
You want to handle that stuff?
I think it would be better for him, right now to just get back to a role that he's used to until he starts hitting shots and then start branching out, branching out again. But he should get some open looks with Burks.
Okay.
I like it from the reverse standpoint. I think the fact that Burks is a capable defender out there, RJ doesn't have to stress as much, so he could take some liberties that he couldn't focus on before. Like now he can work on his offensive game. He don't got to worry about expending so much energy on the defensive end because, it was an open door policy for us too. So now that you got somebody who actually stays in front of their man, this is going to help not only RJ, but it should help Mitch as well. Maybe Mitch won't have to have his head on a swivel so he can focus on playing good defense on the guy he's guarding. I think this is just a good move all around.
Okay, I hope so. I'm hoping so with RJ, man. I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about what it does with RJ, but
you think it's gonna make it worse? That's true. That you got another, not even just another ball handler. Sam Burke is gonna shoot the ball. He ain't asking nobody's permission. If he see a shot, he's gonna take it.
Right. And exactly. That's what I mean. Another ball handler, another dominant.
Yeah.
Ball handler. And RJ's just not that guy where he's gonna dominate the ball. He's gonna be willing to hang over, sit in the wings, wait for the ball to get kicked out to him.
That's the problem, Sam, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess, it would be nice if we're able to see RJ get into that spot up shooter role again, right, with the starting unit. And then when he does play with that bench unit, be able to go out there and drive to the basket and do other things. I think that's how he should play. I think because the spot up role for RJ is money. When he can just focus on that and he don't got to do too much, I mean, he's knocking them things down. We need that. That'll definitely put pressure on the Nets.
Yeah. Sure. All right, and then, of course, you got Kevin Durant and Julius Randle, right? And you heard Julius Randle talking last night about Kevin Durant being the best player in the NBA, which he is, right? And, he plays with skills, not with athleticism, blah, 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 blah. And he loves to compete against them. Last year, Julius Randle actually played well against Kevin Durant when they played, but this is a different year, and this is not the same Julius Randle that's out there on the floor, right? What are you expecting from this matchup?
Which Randle are we talking about? Which game was it where Randle played very well? Was it the Chicago game? It was a game where he played very well, and I felt like he was rounding, into form, getting his mojo back.
It might have been the Chicago.
It might have been. Listen, he loses this matchup no matter what. But I think that if he's the Chicago Randle, we have a better chance. If he's this ragtag Randle these last few games, at least on the offensive end, I think he's been putting in effort, rebounding on the defensive end. But, that Randle, which really hasn't found his footing in this offense, puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the Knicks to get it done.
Yeah, that's true. And against a team like this, that's the one thing about Burks is I guess he's ready to handle the pressure, and he's willing to try to handle that pressure if Randle's not playing well. There's no doubt about it. In my opinion, Kevin Durant is going to probably drop 30 to 35 points tonight, easy.
Yep.
And we don't have anybody on this team that can score with Kevin Durant. But if Julius Randle can just put pressure on him, just put pressure on the Nets, whoever's guarding, because I don't think Kevin Durant's going to be guarding him the whole time. Kevin Durant might be guarding RJ Barrett, since he's not going to shoot as much as Randle, and they might put Bembry on Julius Randle, right?
Yeah.
That way you save Kevin Durant from working as much throughout the game, from getting into foul trouble, and then in the fourth quarter, if you feel like you want to put Kevin Durant on Julius Randle, then they might go do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I just think that, for us to have a real good chance of winning, Julius just needs to stay within 10 points of what Durant does. If Durant drops 40, Julius needs 30. If he drops 30, Julius needs 20. If he does that, I think we got a good chance.
I'll say this. If Durant drops 50, can Julius Randle get 40?
If Enes Kanter is guarding him, he can.
Right. Right. All right, this is what I'm doing, man. I'm gonna call up some other people to the mic. You guys can hang out. I know Eru, you ready to jump up on the mic?
What about John?
John, Julito. I don't know if Julito's ready to jump up on the mic. Let's get some people up on the mic. We can switch out. I wanna hear you guys' keys to tonight's game. They've been drinking a little bit, you know. So their keys might be a little bit crazy.
Let them jump on up in here.
Let us jump out first. Let us jump out first, and you guys can jump in. So give us a second, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do a quick switcheroo, and then you get a new cast of characters to talk about in the chat.
I'm telling you, I started following.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
No, you sit. I'm just gonna.
Oh, we still live. I didn't even know that. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Sim. Shout out to Nothing But Knicks. We here. We are here. Live at Legends. Live in New York City.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
I could just wipe them.
How y'all feeling in the chat? Put where you from in the chat. Shout out. Oh, Josh is in the chat. Shout out to Josh. But put what city you repping in the chat. We are aware that the Knicks fandoms travels. You know what I'm saying? Put where you from in the chat for sure. You know me, I'm repping Brooklyn, the real Brooklyn, not the gentrified Brooklyn Nets Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out to the East. Shout out to the Pink Houses. Cypress.
Flatbush.
Bushwick.
Okay. Oh, it's big Brooklyn in here. The real Brooklyn in here.
Williamsburg. What up? Where's everybody from in the chat? See,
we got Louisville.
We got London.
Wow. See, the Knicks fans travel, man. We in the building.
Be more than Far Rock. And Gila.
Kingston. Crown Heights. Okay, Planet X. Not sure what that is.
Parts unknown.
Atlanta. Okay. We had them all over.
So Sim wants to talk about keys for the game, man. What's your keys for the game, bro?
Oh man, for me, it's easy. The keys to the game is contain the others. You know what I mean? Shout out to Shaq. He always speaks about the others. James Harden and Kevin Durant will get theirs. That's just who they are. They are superstar players. They will get theirs no matter what. No matter rain, sleet, hell, or snow. They will get theirs. So our job tonight is to contain the others and take advantage of their bench, you know, or lack thereof. You know what I mean? I think our bench, now that we are a team that we're kind of going to find our groove within the system, within a tighter rotation. We're going to find our groove. So let's, at this point, take advantage when we got bench mob in there. Take advantage. I really want to see the starters get off to a real good start. You know what I mean? I want to see them heat up very early. Now that, you know, unfortunately, we had to sit Kemba, which it was necessary. You know what I mean? It was time. After all this time, I felt like we gave 20 games, and 20 was a little too much for me. I think we should have made this decision earlier. But nonetheless, we have now Alec Burks, a proven vet, in that position when really, at any given time, RJ can handle the rock. At any given time, Julius can handle the rock. So now I want to see the starters get off to a good start. And I want to see the bench take advantage of Brooklyn's bench because they ain't got nobody on that bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't even know who's their starter. They got a new starter, a young guy, because they benched Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin is benched as well.
Right.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna talk to my man here from Still Knicks, man.
You already know.
Yeah, introduce yourself, bro.
Yeah, it's John, second half of the Still Knicks fans. You know what it is. When's Brooklyn in the house?
Yeah, what's your keys, man?
Man, keys to the game, man. It's basically how quickly can this team gel?
Yeah.
Right? Because now, as Julito was saying, we got to figure out what is our identity. You know what I mean? As a team.
Yeah.
And right now, 20 games in, to be honest, I was on the opposite end. I was figuring like we're gonna get to 30 games until they make a decision.
Yeah.
So for me, this was a rapid pull. You know what I mean? And it, by all means, it was necessary, right? So we're gonna see what we could come up with. I mean, we've seen Burks play the point guard last year. There were some ups and some downs.
Yeah.
So it's really gonna be about point guard by committee. With Randle out there, with Fournier, these guys can handle the rock. RJ, they could bring it up, and then get into their sets.
Yeah.
It's all dependent on how they gel, and are they making quick cuts? Are they making quick decisions? Are they sharing the ball properly?
Yeah.
And at that point, we can get into a groove shooting. It's going to be hard to stop this team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the whole purpose of bringing guys like Fournier and Kemba in, is really giving us those wing players who can really, hit the three, the open shot, play, the pick and roll. Right now, we haven't seen it so far. We see a lot of fumbling and bumbling on the offensive end, and then the defensive end, we ain't getting 100%. So we got to get there 100% on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, we just got to get back to our bread and butter. I mean, last year we was running more of like a read offense,
Right.
more like a triangle kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Burke was mostly like a closer for us, whenever he was healthy. So now him being a closer, now he can actually start games and actually do the same thing that he was doing last year.
Right.
So that's a big key, man. Getting us back to doing what we were doing before. Because with Kemba Walker, we needed Kemba Walker to be pick and roll heavy, and that
Right.
was totally against everything that we've been doing as a team, man. So I just think now just getting back to our bread and butter, what really got us to that win streak last year, got us into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think we're getting back to where we're supposed to be as a Knicks. So I'm expecting a winning streak to come.
Yeah, especially because most of our team is back. Almost everybody's back. I think only the only person inactive is Jericho Sims, and I think that's solely because he wasn't going to get any playing time tonight anyway. So let's go sit him down, put him in some street clothes.
Right.
Maybe go braid his hair.
Right.
You know what I mean? Want to go get him comfortable because he's going to sit on that bench. But I also enjoy what Jericho did for us in the last game, especially. But I love the fact all of our guys are back. Every single person's back tonight. That's remarkable. The fact that we got Taj, we got Mitch and Noel, right? Mitch and Noel isn't as healthy as we would probably like him to be, but we got Taj back, right? And I'm sure Taj, I love in Thibodeau's kind of system, you have to be completely healthy in a sense to be back, right? There's so many protocols you go through in order to get back into his lineup. So that means for me, Taj is close to 100%.
Right.
So now we got Taj, who, I know it feels like such a long time ago, but Taj did amazing for us to start the season. So now we get to really see our team, our rotations. We get to see what it's going to look like moving forward. We get to see Burks in a position with Rose backing him up. What's that going to look like? Maybe even possibly get to see Rose closing the game without a Kemba Walker kind of in his shadow, which is tough because when you got a guy like Kemba, homegrown kid, a homecoming, it's hard to say. There was some issues probably amongst the coaching staff when it came to ending the game with Rose, because your starter is Kemba Walker. Now that Kemba's out of the picture, we don't have to worry about that. I'm excited to see what closing lineups we come with. I'm decided to see Rose quickly and Obi back together, right? So there's a lot of lineup and rotation situations that I'm really excited to see. But I think I agree with you 100%, Eru. I think we go on a winning streak from here. I think not to move too forward, but we got Chicago on Thursday at home.
Yeah, we got
Denver, a depleted Denver team that they you know what I'm saying? It's an opportunity.
Is still a tough matchup, right? Jokic
Right.
is still going to be a tough matchup. So.
Yeah, but we usually play guys better the second time we play them.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be good. So on the screen, I got Todd's situational. The reason why I put it up there because it's basically everybody's situational.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we're gonna need everybody at certain points of the year. See, like Kemba Walker's down, so Zeus was in the G League. They just called him back up, so he might actually use him tonight.
Right.
You never know. So everybody, as you said, that they needed time to get healthy. You have to be a certain physical shape in order to be in Tom Thibodeau's rotation.
Bro, they want you to get in a little closer to the mic.
Yeah, I'm trying not to touch nothing. Mama Sim said don't touch nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So just the whole situational thing is just that everybody's gonna have their chance to really contribute this year. And I think right now just getting Kemba out of there is really gonna get everybody into their spots.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm a little less positive than the two of you.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm gonna take the secondary approach because for me, they haven't proven anything to me yet as far as a Knicks fan is concerned, right? Like for me, it's like we haven't gelled, and I wanna look at this and say, hey, this is an opportunity for us to build. But to be honest, we can't just say that it was all on Kemba, right? Because it really wasn't. It was about the team
100%.
and to hold that sort of integrity that we trying to hold as far as a unit, and having Tibbs being accountable, we have to hold the team accountable too. Yeah. So I think as Knicks fans, we could see it and say, yo, I hope we do go on the run, but I want to see it proven. You know what I mean? I want to show up tonight, show up against the Bulls, and then once we show up against the Bulls, then anything is possible, right? Because we'll have 2 home games. This is 3 home games. It's a home game. That's
Today
a fact.
A home game,
That's
man.
a fact.
That's Madison Square Garden Part 2 over there on downtown.
That's a fact.
On Atlantic Ave, man.
So I want to see us get these 3 wins. You know what I mean? This home skit, and then we start talking about like, hey, we're gonna start turning the table. Because until then, if we go 1-1, then we're a 500 team, and then we got to start to reshape it and reform what we have and see who's gonna stick around and who isn't. Right. So in some parts of this is gonna be like it's a showcase game for guys. Because if you ain't gonna stick around with a team, then you got to find another team. Because we got some youngsters waiting in the wings, and they're hungry.
So what do you guys think about the whole politics thing of it? Because that's what mostly everybody's been talking about. Just the move to take Kemba Walker out of the lineup is like it just shows that the organization trusts Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
They just pulled him. Back in the days they were like, nah, Kemba has to play. Certain people have to play because of stature, because of salary and things like that. Right. So what do you guys think about that whole politics thing behind it?
I'm 100% okay with it. I think it was time. I think 20 games is a quarter of a season. It's enough to see what works and what's not working. And when you have, I know everybody know the stat by now and everybody has seen the stat, but to know that when Kemba's on the court, we are the worst defensive team. And then when he gets off the court, we are the best defensive team. To see when he's on the court, we are the worst offensive team. To see when he's off the court with a top 10 offensive team. That stat alone is glaring, and it is more than okay to why we changed this lineup. And Kemba doesn't work off the bench, right? Like Tom said, that's the thing I say all the time when it comes to Knicks fans. Let's listen to our personnel when they speak, because especially a guy like Tom who doesn't speak often. He said, I don't like 3 undersized guards. Right? So in that he doesn't like undersized guards at all, right? So because of that, Kemba doesn't work off the bench. So now let's get that figured out now. I think Tom did learn from his mistakes last year with playing Alfred for so long. But the thing with Alfred is he gave you at least some aggression on the point guard spot. He may not have been able to make shots. He was, probably the worst point guard in the league, but he was able to give you some transition or aggression, and he was also able to play some kind of defense. Right now, he's learned his lesson. He understands I can't wait until the game 2 or 3 of the playoffs to make such a huge decision. Let's do it a quarter in a game. I'm okay with it. Listen, I feel bad, man. Kemba's my guy. Bronx, I've been watching Kemba since Rice. You know what I mean? We watched him what he did in UConn. God speed to that man. I hope he stays on the team in a Theo Pinson kind of role.
Right.
I hope he's our go-to clapper on the sidelines. You know what I mean? But we got to make a decision, man, and we got to make a change because I still think this is a playoff team. I still think if we get out the first round, we are a dangerous team. And in order to get there, you got to make the decisions now. And I'm so glad Tom decided to do it.
What's your thoughts?
I'm on board with it. You know what I mean? I was shocked, but I'm on board with it. I mean, like I said, I was thinking it was going to be like 30 games before they make a decision. Yeah. But he pulled the string early, and I'm cool with it. I mean, look, you got to see what you have. So, and that's why you got all of those analytic folks, you know, the guys, you know, taking those numbers and putting those numbers together for tips to take a look at and listen to, because that wasn't really what he did in his past. In his past, he was always on the eye test. So now he's taking a little bit of both. He's bringing that nuance to the game. He's listening. He's paying attention to his team. And I think that's important. And we want him to lead. We want him to be that leader who's fearless, who's willing to make those tough decisions. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, it's going to be hard for Kemba to take a back seat because he is a pro, right? But can he handle himself? It reminds me a lot of Austin Rivers. When Austin Rivers was with us last year, had that 20-25 games with us, and then it wasn't a good fit anymore, and they have to move on from it. It really reminds me of that. However, Kemba is, you know, probably a higher tier than what Austin was when he was here. So it's going to be a little tougher for him to take a back seat. But I think with all these injuries, I think he understands it, and he understands as a team, the first priority is to win. You know what I mean? He's been in this business for up to 10 years or maybe more. I mean, he's a 13-year vet, maybe something like that. So I'm with it. I like the decision. I just want to see us, like I said, build.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, somebody posted today that he was actually a starter in the All-Star game last year.
Yeah.
You know, so
in 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Right. So Kemba's still Kemba.
He can still score.
Yeah, he's still the man. But you know, just the politics of it is that it just shows that, like you mentioned, all the analytic guys that we have out there. Everybody has their job, and everybody is in sync with each other. Yeah. And they made that decision the same time we as fans made that decision. Right. So in that way, I kind of feel good about it in that aspect, because you know I feel like not only is the front office in sync with the coaching staff, I feel like the fan base, everybody's in sync. Yeah. You know, and then at the same time too, the players themselves, I feel like, you know, you can just see that the body language on the court. You can just see everybody has been basically suffering. Yeah. You know, so hopefully taking this out of there is not no knock to Kemba. Like I said, Kemba is still Kemba, but no knock to him or anything like that. But I just think that, you know, right now this is the best move for us going forward. We just got to see what's going to happen next week. And
Kemba's a consummate pro. Right. He's not going to sulk on the bench. You know, I've been to a bunch of games this season, and I see guys sulking on the bench. I ain't going to point no fingers. He's not that. He's going to be on the bench, full of joy, cheering his team on. As you can see on the screen right now, if you're watching TNT, he's the first one standing up, clapping for his guys, making sure he knows he's there to support them. Right. That's the kind of guy Kemba is. It's just unfortunate right now it didn't work. Yeah. But you never know. Kemba may come back around after a few games. D-Rose, you know, he can be injury prone at times. You know, we may see Kemba again. But until then, I think we're going to win.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a win too. You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to get into this hot streak, you know, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the game is starting. What we going to do? We're going Okay. I'm going to go watch the game. Quiet money, somebody else. I need to focus on my boys. I don't
know if you guys want me here. It might get a little ugly over here.
Yeah. I can't watch the game. I got to focus. You know what I mean?
It's the official watch party.
Yeah, man. So we just got the tip off just now. See Burks.
Yes, sir. And you see the Nets going back to their Jersey ways. They got the Jersey court right now.
They need to go back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want the hot seat? Want the hot seat?
I'm good. You want to be there? I'm good.
I'm good. Who's that?
There we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Fournier.
Evan Fournier.
Yo,
Hey, I told you I was taking this. I'll take the Fournier spot. Take that wing spot.
That's one thing too. Right away with Burks starting and stuff like that, I feel like Fournier is galvanized. You know,
possibly.
Yeah,
possibly. I hope he puts some defense.
RJ get the rebound, advance the ball up the floor. Okay. Coast to coast, out to Fournier for three. Hey, okay.
I like that we're getting out and and trying to run.
Yeah, we might need to get that speaker out the way, man.
What'd you say?
That speaker.
Let's go, RJ.
Sir, this is play-by-play over here.
Yeah.
Nets got those ugly old school
Old school
uniforms
jersey
on,
uniforms.
The New Jersey Nets uniforms.
Uh-huh.
Who was that? Mitch? Was that Mitch?
That was RJ.
That was RJ. 4-0. New York Knicks.
Yeah, man, he almost turned that ball over just now. He tried to throw an alley-oop to Mitch.
And you see we collapsing
KD
defensively too, which is
Down
great.
KD to Aldridge.
See, we're
Randle with
collapsing.
the rebound
We're rebounding.
to RJ.
We're pushing the pace, man.
RJ out to Randle. Back to RJ. RJ in the
Okay.
post. In the
Okay.
post.
This is different.
Out to Fournier for 3. Hey.
Hey, you gotta hit those.
Who's that? Bembry?
Bembry,
They're out of control.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to see from here. That was Patty Mills.
Yeah, we might need
Patty
another
Mills with the
TV.
reverse. I don't know. I think I might need to watch it too. I might need to just jump
We
on.
need to
I might need to
break
jump
away.
in the post game.
Post-game.
Jump into the post game and go watch the game, man.
You're wrong. Where you at, man?
You know what I'm saying? Harden on the break. And
It's open.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to close it off here so we can go watch the game, and we'll be back for the post game show.
Absolutely.
All right? We'll be back for the post game show.
Salute to the.
We appreciate
salute to
y'all for
everybody.
being here with us in the game preview. Make sure you check us out. I don't know. I guess it's about 10:15 or so. We'll be here for the post game show, and we do it that way, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate your time. Enjoy the game. Evo, if you could, number 6, if you could slide it all the way down. It's already slid down? Okay, cool. Because I'm going to bring up the outro. Ladies and gentlemen,
There we go.
we catch y'all at the post game. We out.
Thanks, y'all.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the